I'm going to see if I can do this within, like, let's say 3 minutes. Let's try, Queen. So I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can just balance your energy, okay? Balance your habits, okay? 6 ways to pivot your habits. So number 1, first you need to identify the trigger, okay? We want to identify the trigger. What old habits do you have, and how do they get triggered? What prompts them to get triggered? We all have something that happens, and then the other person doesn't understand why you're acting the way you are. It's because something that in the environment of what's going on as of right now triggered you to respond the way you have, right? So identify the trigger. Number 2, replace that old habit with something new that will serve you, okay? For instance, if you're saying that, okay, I'm going to stop snacking at nighttime. No, identify the trigger, right? Because if you're a person that, okay, you turn the TV on, you get in bed, and that is your trigger to begin to snack at nighttime, then you need to replace it with something better, okay? Maybe say to yourself that I'm not going to have anything after 7 p.m., right? I'm not going to have anything when I am inside in the bed. I'm not going to eat in my room. I'm not going to eat in my bed, right? So just intentionally set a time to not have anything after a certain time each day. Intentions, okay? Number 3, set clear goals. What do you want? How will you achieve it? Right? We just talked about number 1 and number 2, identifying the steps of what triggers you, right? Putting yourself into that mindset of saying, you know what, instead of me doing this, I'm going to allow myself to not do this at this certain time, or because this triggers me around this person. We have to identify, set the clear goals of saying that I'm not going to put myself in this environment because I'm going to want to eat this, or I'm not going to allow myself to show up this way because I get lazy this. Whatever the situation is, right? Set the clear goals. Limit the exposures so you can avoid those situations of old habits. Back to 1 and 2. Identifying and replacing it, okay? And knowing, just like number 3, setting the clear goals. So if you limit the exposures so you won't have those old habits, then you can create new habits that you can grow into. Create new habits that you can grow into, right? So number 5, accountability. Get yourself that group, that friend, that queen, whatever it is. Allow yourself to lean on someone in your times that you think that you're not going to make it. Okay? And number 6, track your progress. When you have a journal and you're writing in your journal each and every day, either when you rise or before bed, or maybe it's at your lunchtime, identify all the growth, success that you have been going through. And let me say something when I say success, because sometimes we all think that when we don't achieve something, or what failure looks like, that's not success. Well, let me say something. Success looks different for each and every person. Failure is not always a bad thing, because when you fail, you learn something from it. Just like relationships, not all relationships are always forever. In that relationship, did you grow from that relationship? Did you learn something from that relationship? Right? So for number 1, identifying the triggers, start small. Okay? Don't be hard on yourself. Be in the space that you are in at the moment. So start small. Then number 2, replace the habits. Be consistent with those habits. Okay? Write this down, queens. Be consistent with your habits. Then number 3, where I have set clear goals, you can use reminders. I was using my own system where I monthly have a monthly calendar, and then from that monthly calendar I would pull from weekly. But now, because of one of my coaches that I have, a lovely lady, she taught us how to get your timer and set the timer for each project or whatever it is that you're doing. So you don't feel as if, oh, I didn't get this done. Identify why you didn't get it done. Was you on the phone too long? Was you doing a certain project too long? Was you procrastinating? Whatever it is, you can identify it. I like that. Okay. Number 4, when it says limit exposures, I want you to focus on the end goal. Focus on what are you going to get out of it, right? Happiness, the achievement for your family, the achievement for your business, for your health, staying consistent, right? And then number 5, for the accountability, for you getting that group, that person, because sometimes we are so hard on ourselves, we don't see what we're actually doing. But you can create a reward system for yourself or with your accountability group. You know what I mean? Each and every one can congratulate each other. Those are words of affirmations. They make you feel good to want to keep pushing. And then number 6, where I said to track your progress, queens, and journal that progress. I want you to make sure that you're being patient with yourself. I have my notes right here written on the back of my doctor papers because it came from the doctor. Be patient with yourself, because when you're patient with yourself, then you can create those habits. When you're patient with yourself, because let me say something, you should want to be patient with yourself, because those old habits didn't just start. They crept in real slowly, because you're eating in bed at nighttime and after a certain time, because you started one night, you didn't think nothing of it. 1-2 nights passed, and then the third night you did it again. Then the next day you did it again. You created those habits unintentionally. But the hard part is intentionally reversing it. The hard part is intentionally making sure that you create new habits to show up for yourself, for your goals, for your family, for your business, for your health. Intentionally be patient on your growth. I like that. Because it didn't just happen overnight. Our habits didn't just happen overnight. And we weren't intentionally creating those negative habits, those bad habits. And yes, I'm going to say negative, bad habits, because I understand everyone's schedule is different. But when you sit there and work a certain time to a certain time, and you have that time to not eat at nighttime because your schedule is not a 7-Eleven like a nurse schedule, you can eat regular hours. But because you're watching TV and you're used to eating at that time of hour, you created a habit. So it didn't just start overnight, queens. It didn't just start overnight. So listen, queens, join me for day 2 tomorrow for our Balance With Me workshop. Okay, we are going over ways that you can pivot your habits. So today we gave 6 ways to pivot your habits, okay, in this Balance With Me workshop. So queens, write all of this in the journal. If you've watched the replay, drop down a crown sign. Let me know that you watched the replay. And we're going to have more homework tomorrow so we can have a balanced business, a balanced family lifestyle, and make sure we take care of our health at the same time, okay? Because look, queens, I came to the doctors, right? My doctor's is in the mall. I came to the doctor's early. I got a little walk where I could walk to, and I'm sitting down now. I'm doing business, so I balanced. I got my kids out this morning for school. So what does your balance look like? Go through 1 through 6 so you can create a balanced lifestyle. So make sure everything you do it the royal way.